Okay, so let me list out the things of OOPS concept. So these are the object-oriented concept that we are going to see in all further lecture. Apart from the thing that we have done up to now, that is a function, class object, inheritance, and its types. Okay. Now the next concept is about a polymorphism. So today we are focusing on the terms that is polymorphisms. Even though we have done this, if I remember, I don't know, have you remembered or not? Let me check that things. If not, that not a problem. Yeah, PP1. Let me check that. Have you done some kind of Mary and the property kind of functions? Have you remember that? Or no, maybe not. Okay, no worries. So if you have done, so then we can, even though you can check on the YouTube as well, because we have uploaded all the videos, maybe related to any polymorphism. Yeah, if not, then no worries, we can do it. Okay, now the today's concept is a polymorphisms. So we need to understand it, why we need a polymorphisms, what is the use of polymorphism, and how we achieve the polymorphisms. Right? So it's very sweet and simple terms. So let's understand it practically. So basically, we need a class, and object, and function only. There's only three concepts we need for the all further concept. So polymorphism. Phism. So basically, this is one of the Greek word is there. Okay, poly means many, phism means a form. It's a kind of Greek word. Polymorphism means in many forms. So one thing in multiple formats. So this is needed at some situation because in many times we want to keep some kind of concept similar names, but we can't keep the same name and the same thing, everything same. We need to change slightly so that it will be make something differentiates. For example, we want to do the addition of a programs. So add is a very polite word. Everyone remember that add means additions. So additions can do with the multiple things. In the same function, it may add some two numbers sometimes, and sometimes it add three numbers. Add. It is also addition. But first function added two numbers, second function adding three numbers. So the term polymorphism say that you can keep the function name same and the different parameters. Means doing only one thing only we are doing, but in multiple formats. So that is the first way of achieving polymorphism is function overloading. I mentioned the two things after polymorphism. One is an overloading and second is overriding. So apart from the first concept is to achieve a polymorphism is function overloading. 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 Function overloading means function having the same name and the different parameters. If you observe the code, its function have a same names, that is addition. It is also the addition, but different parameters. So this concept is known as method overloading. Method overloading is a one way of achieving a polymorphism, because polymorphism allow us to do the same thing in multiple formats, right? So this is a first way of achieving polymorphism is nothing but function overloading. Keep the function name same, and change the parameters. So like we are doing additions, but first time for the two parameters, okay, and second one with the help of three parameters. Okay, additions. Understanding. So why we need a polymorphism? Because at some situation we don't want to change the function name, but parameter we can change. That polymorphism at least allowed. So you can take many real-time example as well, because that word sounds, very clarity. Like a camera is also is a kind of a word. So user can directly connect. What do you mean by the camera? Means there is no need to explain a lot of things related to the camera. He's know everything. So everyone wants the name camera itself, but true camera same function you cannot write. So in some basic camera you can write, and the second camera function you can add a front end camera like some other function which have front end and the back camera. So means exactly we are keeping the same name but changing a parameter wise. So that is the first way of achieving polymorphism, means function overloading. Got it? Now we'll implement it practically. So for achieving this, as usual, we need one simple class and one main class, right? So let's go here once. Lakshmi, Pappal writes. So create one simple class. So we'll make it as OVRLDRNG overloading. It's simple class. So in simple class, what you are going to do? We'll create two functions. First is the integer add, which is having two parameters, integer a comma integer b, and it also doing the same thing that returns a plus b. We cannot. It is not possible to write function having same name and same parameter within a class, right? It is not possible, no? Because you're trying to keep the two same function within a same class. So that is not a possible. So at least you need to change the parameters. So you can add at least C. So it is okay now, because first function is also have the name as a add, but it having a two parameters. Second function is also having addition, but with the three parameters. So this is a concept of overloading. Okay, keep the name same. Okay, it is actually we need to write different name, but doesn't matter. Overloading concepts. Okay, then how to call that function? It is automatically based on the number of parameters the function will get called. You know. So let me create one main class here. The terms is polymrsm, the main class. Because simple class is not going to execute. For that we write main class. Now, how to access that class function? As usual, we need to create a object of that class. Overloading. Suppose OR is there. Is equal new overloading. Fine. So this class have a two functions. Suppose OL dot add. Sorry, not OL or not. It's OL. Right? Suppose you pass the two parameters, then also this function work, because now it call the function which having two parameters. Or there is some errors is there. Which is errors? Is there anything red line? Okay, unsaved files. No problem. Right click, run as Java applications. Oh, that function is in the return. No? It's not going to print. Such a function we need to call in system.out.println. because that function returning something, it's not printing. So now if you call this function semicolon, we are getting output as a 5 because this function now call the function which having a two parameters. But some user may add a three parameter as well. So still it is not giving an error because we have also that function which is having a three parameters, right? So this is a concept where the function having the same name, the different parameters. But if you try to pass only one parameter, it will give errors. It will either say either added two parameters or three parameters. Got it? So this is the first way of achieving polymorphisms. Now, there is a second way of achieving polymorphism is overloading definition says that functions. So just remember the main line. Same name and different parameter. It is overloading. But the second way of achieving polymorphism is nothing but overriding. Okay, overriding says the concept of overriding is function having same name and the same parameter. So one thing is very clear. If you try to keep the same name and the same parameter, so it is not possible with the same class, right? As of we did the addition function with the same name and same parameter. So now for overriding, we need to take a help of inheritance concept. So we are doing the same thing only but in different formats. So let me take one simple example so that you can easily connect. Right click, run as, sorry, we'll take simple class overriding. What I will do, I'll create one simple class and I will write one method, void prty. This is a property. So let's assume there is something dollars and 99 okay. I'll add one more method here, void marry. Just assume it is a real-time example so that you can easily connect. Let's see that XYZ. Now we have two functions. One is a property, second is a marry. And as per the definition is that the same name and the same parameter. So if you write to things within a same class, it is not actually possible. So there is no need also. We are able to writing a same function in same class, so it is not allowed. And even though we are not able to changing the parameters, we want to keep the same because it is definition of overriding same name and the same parameter. So that is not possible with a simple only single class. So for that we need a two classes. Okay. So what will I do? I'll create one more class here. Let's say that child. Okay. And I will extend that class extends extends overriding. If I override this, then what will happen? Child class can access property as well as marriage. So if I create the object of child class here, child C is equal to new child. So C can access the property as well as C can access marriage. See the general way of inheritance concepts, same property and the same marriage methods, right? But there is some drawback also here. Here is what happening. Child is getting all the parent method as it is, right? Same property as well as same marry methods. But it is not always child is going to accept the parent method, and right, sometimes child may need some changes, right? It is not always happen na, if the parent decided to this and child is accept all the things. So there may be a situation where the child is unsatisfied with the parent methods. So for that there may be some things, though it is try to do the same thing but in a different way. Means that if I run this program, I'm getting the output is what? X, Y, Z. I want to do the same thing but a different way. See, this is also the kind of polymorphisms. The child is doing the same thing. Here is also Mary, here is also Mary. Function same name, same name, same name. But if I run this program, now instead of XYZ, I will get the output as ABC. So this is overriding. Okay. Why we need overriding? Because sometimes the child is unsatisfied with the parent methods. You don't want exactly the parent method decided. So that it want the property of parent method as it is, but you don't want to marry the XYZ. Maybe a situation. So at that time, he will override that particular method into his own method. So this is a concept of overriding. Okay. So now you're understanding the polymorphism concepts that says that you can do the same thing in a different way. So that is a polymorphism. We can achieve the polymorphism in two ways, by overloading or overriding. When we are doing overloading, so then also you are doing the same functionality. If you observe here, you are doing an addition only, but sometime with the two parameter, but sometime with the three parameters. So this is a concept also overloading. And in overriding, you are doing the same function only. Marry, marry. But in a different way. First XYZ, second is ABC. If you're not overriding this, it will give the output as an XYZ. You are overriding same function, then you will give the ABC. It's only one thing, but in different ways, right? So this is a concept of polymorphisms. Understood? Okay, but Java is so powerful and it's have a lot of power as well. So in last time I told you the one use of final keywords. Now I will tell you the second use of final keywords. If you consider some real time situation, some parents are very strict. You know, if they decided to do this, so child will follow the same. But in this case, if every time his child is overriding the method, the power of parent will be get losing. He's not like he's suppose a parent decided to marry the XYZ and he's decided to ABC. So it's overriding, right? But what if the parent want to restrict the things? Ki child is not going to override anything. So as we are able to protect our class to be get inherited in the similar manner, if I make that function as a final, so no one can get inherit or override that method. So this is also the one use of final keyword. We can protect that class by getting inherited. That is also one of the use. Even though we can protect our class to be get overrides. Means if the parent make the class as a final, so no one can override it. Okay. So now you can always get the output as an XYZ. So this is also the one of the use. And sometimes it's maybe gets something a lot of things get confused or overlaps. So final parent will decide to make a class finals. If you want to marry that girls, go marry, but you will not get anything from us, not even the properties. दफा हो जाओ मेरे properties. ये सुनते ना dialogue. So that is also with the help of final. So final is so much powerful. It will protect the class. It will protect the method. So there are many use. So that's why the Java is the most trusted language in the IT industry. Last from 30 years, it is a top three language. So it's so much powerful. But it is not just a simple programming. I just keep on typing and getting output. It is a kind of concept that based on the situation we need to override, we need to implement it. So these are the all are the different way of concept of polymorphism. Based on our need, we should use that. So as we are started, why we need a class and object? Just because of in modular programmings. So we are started with the class and objects. Then where we decided that in class and object there are many functions which are usable. So we are using that functions. But the same function, that function of some class will be accessible within that class only. So it is not possible with the help of class of object to reuse the class functions. So that's why we need an inheritance concept. With the help of inheritance, we can reuse of other class function into our classes. So this is achieved by the inheritance, and there are multiple way of achieving inheritance. The single, multi-level, multi-hierarchical and habits. And now today we are focusing on polymorphisms because in many situations we need to keep the same function names, but polymorphism say that you can't keep the same function, same parameters. So at least change some parameters. So they allowing us the two methods overloading, same function, different parameters. Overriding is also there, same function with the same parameter, but you can achieve that with the help of inheritance. So that we can override at functions. And why we need a overriding? Sometimes child is not satisfied with the parent methods, so you can override that methods. But child parent also have a power to protect that method to be get overrides by making it final. And that is also not possible. Make a class as a final is not going to extend anything. So it doesn't matter. You can do anything. So this is a keywords use and use of polymorphisms. Yet understood the polymorphism concept. Okay. On daily basis, we are focusing on one concept. Now, tomorrow we'll understood about encapsulations. Day after tomorrow, abstractions, then interface, then constructor. Once we done all the concepts, then we'll compare all the things. At what situation, which thing is suitable, when to use a class object, when inheritance, abstraction, interface, and encapsulation. We'll compile all together with the real-time scenario so that we'll understood which thing is suitable at when. So you must have a clear understanding of in a such way that when to use a two-wheeler, four-wheeler, train, bus, or aeroplane. So like how we quickly decided that now there are 40, 50 people, so we need a bus. There are two people, we need two-wheelers, five people for the four-wheelers. And like that only, you can decide okay, we want to do this kind of programming. So for this, the polymorphism is suitable. We go with the polymorphism. Or sometime we need a reusability of a class, so you can able to connect that. Okay, there is an inheritance concept, so that allow this kind of situation. So this much understanding is important with the Java. As I'm already said that Java is not just a general purpose languages. It is an object oriented. The Java is mainly known for object oriented. Many real time situation we can able to achieve with the help of this concept. Okay. Now try to implement this polymorphism concepts. If you have any doubt, you can ask me tomorrow and we'll solve that. Got it?